Hey, I'm Max.
And I'm Kat.
We're your AI hosts here at Gut Check Daily. All our content is written and reviewed by a board-certified gastroenterologist. Today we're talking about the 3 things actually driving your symptoms. Quick reminder, this is educational content, not medical advice. Always consult with your doctor about your specific situation.
Let's get into it. If you've ever thought, why does fiber help my friend but wreck me? You're not broken. Your gut is just running a different operating system.
Exactly. You and your friend might both have an IBS label, but under the hood, your guts are being driven by different engines, and that totally changes what helps or hurts.
Today we're zooming in on the 3 main levers that actually run the show: motility, fermentation, and visceral sensitivity.
Think of it like a soundboard. How fast things move, how much gas your bacteria make, and how loudly your gut sends alarm signals to your brain.
Let's start with motility. In simple terms, that's how quickly material moves through your intestines, your internal conveyor belt speed.
If the belt's cranked to high speed, your gut doesn't have time to absorb much water, so stools are looser, you get urgency, and sometimes you're planning your day around bathroom access.
If it's too slow, that same conveyor belt lets stools sit and dry out, leading to constipation, pressure, and that heavy, rock in my abdomen feeling.
And it's sneaky, because you might still go every day, but never feel fully empty, so you think, I'm not constipated, even though your colon is basically backed up traffic.
Clinically, we see people who have days of not going much, then a sudden episode of loose stool when that backed up material finally forces its way through.
And then we've got meals acting like a trigger. For fast motility folks, eating, especially big or fatty meals or caffeine, can feel like someone hit the turbo button on your gut.
Right, that's a normal reflex exaggerated. The colon tends to contract after meals, but in IBS with fast transit, that response can be more intense, so you're sprinting to the bathroom.
On the slow side, you might feel way better after a big bowel movement, but getting there takes days of fullness, tight waistbands by 4 p.m., and sometimes looking 6 months pregnant by evening.
So that's lever 1, motility speed. Lever 2 is fermentation, what your gut bacteria do with the leftovers you don't digest.
Picture trillions of tiny workers in your colon, snacking on fibers and certain carbs you can't break down. As they eat, they make gas and helpful short-chain fatty acids.
Some gas is absolutely normal, but if there's a lot of fermentable material, or if gas can't move or be absorbed efficiently, you get bloating, distension, pressure, and discomfort.
So 2 people eat the same chickpeas. One just gets a bit of gas and carries on. The other feels this tight upper abdominal pressure, noisy gurgling, maybe even reflux, and a blown-up belly by night.
And crucially, that doesn't mean chickpeas are toxic. It means their particular bacteria, motility, and gas handling aren't working well with that food right now.
It's like having a super sensitive housemate. Nothing is wrong with the kitchen, but certain cooking smells set off the smoke alarm every time.
Which leads right into lever 3, visceral sensitivity, the volume knob on your gut's alarm system. How strongly your nerves and brain respond to normal gut signals.
Your intestines send messages to your brain all day. Most of us barely notice. In IBS, that alarm system is turned way up. So normal stretching from gas or stool can feel like burning, cramping, or sharp pain.
What's tricky is that scans, scopes, and blood tests can look totally normal because structurally, the bowel is fine. The issue is in the wiring and brain-gut communication.
So your friend can have a colon full of gas and shrug, while you have a modest amount and feel like you're going to explode, even though your belly doesn't look that different.
And factors like stress and poor sleep can crank that sensitivity knob even higher. But that's brain-gut biology, not it's all in your head.
This is where people often start blaming themselves. I'm too anxious. I'm weak. No. Your alarm system is just set differently. and no one handed you the instruction manual.
And the manual is basically motility, fermentation, sensitivity. Most IBS is some unique blend of those three levers set to unhelpful levels.
Which explains why the blanket advice, just eat more fiber, or cut out all X foods, works wonders for one person and totally wrecks another.
For example, if slow motility is your main issue and you tolerate fermentation, more fiber can help move things along. But if you're highly sensitive and your bacteria are already overproducing gas, that same fiber can be misery.
So let's shift from theory to real life. If someone's listening and thinking, okay, which lever is my problem? Where do they start?
Step 1. Focus on motility patterns before obsessing over food. Ask, am I mostly diarrhea predominant, constipation predominant, or truly mixed?
In plain language, are you rushing to the toilet within an hour of eating and going multiple times a day? Or are you going every few days with big, hard, or incomplete feeling bowel movements?
Fast transit often comes with urgency and cramping soon after meals. Slow transit leans toward fullness, heaviness, and that deep sense of relief after finally having a big movement.
Even just tracking this for a week can be eye-opening. How often you go, stool consistency, and how you feel before and after. No food detective work yet, just timing and form.
Once you have a sense of your motility, step 2 is watching for fermentation signals. When does bloating actually peak during the day?
Classic fermentation pattern is you wake up relatively flat, then your belly slowly expands through the afternoon, worst in the evening, sometimes with a bloat hangover the next morning.
If you log meals for 3 to 5 days, you'll often see patterns. Certain carbs, like beans, wheat, onions, or some fruits, match up with more gas, distension, and gurgling than others.
And that doesn't automatically mean those foods are bad forever. It means your current combo of bacteria and motility doesn't handle those well right now, so they're high-octane fuel for fermentation.
Exactly. This is about observing, not panicking. Seeing patterns lets you experiment strategically instead of cutting 20 foods in one go.
Then, step 3, tune in to sensitivity. Ask yourself, how out of proportion is my pain or urgency compared to what's actually happening in my body?
If small meals cause big pain, or mild gas feels unbearable, or you're exhausted by sensations other people might describe as minor discomfort, sensitivity is playing a major role.
A big giveaway is when tests are reassuringly normal, but your day-to-day experience still feels awful. That disconnect usually means the nerves, not the structure, are the problem.
And if flares line up with high stress weeks or poor sleep, that's more evidence that the brain-gut volume knob is involved, even if your actual stool pattern hasn't changed dramatically.
So when you zoom out, most people with IBS have one or two levers that are the loudest. Want to run through some common combinations?
Let's do it. First, fast motility plus high sensitivity. This person has urgency, cramping, maybe loose stools, and a constant feeling of, I can't be far from a bathroom.
Emotionally, that can look like scoping out restrooms everywhere you go, fearing long car rides, and worrying that any meal out might trigger a dash for the door.
Second combo, slow motility plus strong fermentation. These folks often have evening bloat, constipation, and a huge sense of physical and mental relief after a large bowel movement.
And often that pregnant by 4 p.m. feeling, where a normal breakfast is fine, but each meal stacks up, and by night, everything feels tight and pressurized.
Third, fermentation plus sensitivity, with relatively normal bowel frequency. They may go daily, but small amounts of gas or distension create a lot of pain and discomfort.
So their doctor says, you're having regular bowel movements. This is IBS. But they're thinking, if my bowel's fine, why does it feel this extreme?
And this is where understanding your levers changes the whole conversation. It's not about whether you really have IBS, it's about which systems are set too high or too low.
Once you know your pattern, advice stops being random. A constipation-dominant, slow motility person is going to use fiber in a very different way than someone whose main problem is hypersensitive nerves.
The slow motility person might benefit from gradual, targeted fiber increases, plus strategies that support movement, while the sensitivity-dominant person might focus more on calming the nervous system and gentle food exposure.
And that sensitivity-dominant person might actually feel worse on super strict elimination diets because the fear and hypervigilance around food crank the volume knob even higher.
Exactly. For them, learning that pain doesn't always equal damage and slowly reintroducing foods in a structured way can be more helpful than endlessly shrinking the safe food list.
I also want to call out something you said earlier. You don't have to micromanage every molecule you eat. You just need to figure out which one or two levers are mostly running the show.
That's so important. People burn out trying to control everything. Every spice, every bite, every social meal, when a few targeted changes based on their pattern could be much more sustainable.
And it gives you a way to interpret your own body signals. Instead of, my gut hates me, it becomes, oh, that meal sped up my motility, or that food added to the fermentation pile today.
Exactly. You move from chaos to a framework. Is this mainly about speed, gas production, or alarm sensitivity? And how much of each?
For someone listening who's overwhelmed, can we sketch out a super simple starting experiment they could discuss with their doctor?
Yes, keep it light touch. For 1 week, log 3 things. 1. When and how you poop. 2. When bloating and gas are worst. 3. When pain or urgency spikes, plus what was happening that day. Stress, sleep, meals.
No calorie counting, no judging, just notes like went at 8 a.m., loose, bloat worst at 9 p.m., pain 7 out of 10th after stressful meeting, beans at lunch, more gas by evening.
Then, at the end of the week, look for simple patterns. Are you mostly fast or slow? Does bloat build through the day? Do bad flares line up more with certain foods or with stressful days and poor sleep?
That little bit of data gives your doctor, dietitian, or therapist something concrete to work with, instead of the vague, I'm just always bloated and in pain.
And it makes future changes, whether diet tweaks, medications, or brain-gut therapies, feel like experiments on specific levers, not desperate attempts to fix a mystery gut.
Because IBS isn't random chaos. It's those three systems, motility, fermentation, and sensitivity, set to unhelpful levels that you can learn to work with.
Your job is not to fix everything at once. It's to notice which levers are loudest and focus there first, with support from your care team.
And as we go forward in this series, we'll break down each lever in more detail, including how to test small changes without burning your life down to 3 safe foods.
So, if you've ever felt like IBS advice just isn't built for your body, stay with us. We're going to help you build a version that matches your actual gut.
That's it for today. I'm Max.
I'm Kat.
For more gut health insights, visit gutcheckdaily.com. Thanks for listening.